Go read, Dana. That's more important. I have a great book recommendation for kids we should talk about soon. It's not going to be possible tonight, obviously. We'll see you soon. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. It is another beautiful day in sunny Florida, and I feel very lucky to be here. Um, Hair makes such a difference, doesn't it? I hope you guys are doing well today. Tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Or, I don't know, share a deep, dark secret. I was thinking about calling these therapy. Oh no, I guess it would be therapy Thursday. But then it was going to be therapy Thursday asterisk, not actual therapy. No, fuck off. Um, but y'all know what I mean. We're going to be doing something a little bit different tonight than we normally do, but I mean, really, it is the same. Courtney wishes she had pizza and meatloaf. A meatloaf pizza and french fries. Jonathan had chicken nuggies and you like them. Oh, dude. First of all, chicken nugget price in Canada versus the United States. Let's just talk about that for a minute. I was not able to resist purchasing chicken nuggies from McDonald's when I saw the price because they are cost prohibitive at home. Maybe that just says more about me and how cheap I am, but uh, like six nuggets is like $8 or something like that, and 10 nuggets is like $12. It's nuts. Anyways, also the gentleman at McDonald's shamed me, which I feel a little bit bad about. We already talked about on Credence and Mikey one day that you guys don't have McChicken sauce. You have mayonnaise at the McDonald's. But in Canada, because of food regulations, they're not allowed to call that mayonnaise because it doesn't have, I think it's the egg content or something, which allows it to be shelf stable. There's a thing. Regardless, in Canada, mayonnaise is called McChicken sauce. You ask for it as such. I got a blank stare when I asked for some today, and I forgot that they don't have it. And when I corrected myself, I said, "Oh, I apologize. That is," I told that whole story to the guy, and he was like, "I'm just going to tell you, it sounds like your country's got some weird shit." I was like, "Okay, thank you for that, McDonald's employee. Very much appreciate your judgment there." Great. Um, well, Melanie, I'm going to tell you something. Well, I don't know. Apparently I eat fast food at home and like cheap fast food and or like cheap grocery store food. I don't even know. Hi, Erica. Thanks for coming by. Guys, I was declare anything I buy when I go home. Oh God. Beverly, you're so smart. You're reminding me about my declarations. I'm actually sitting staring at a few things. Now, does it count if I didn't buy it? That's a really good question. But I think I have the maximum allowance because I've been gone for so long. So I'm pretty poor. I didn't spend near the maximum limit, which I think is like thousands of dollars. So that isn't even a problem. There's never going to be that issue. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I will have to worry about spending more than the declaration limit. But until that day, no, we're good. We're good. Remember, my dress was $2.99. I'm going to be telling people how amazing the deals were that I got, but they're going to be like, "Ma'am, add it up and tell us the total. We're not asking for what deals you got. This is not a Ross dress for less commercial." Also, I learned there's a Ross outlet store which is like the outlet from the Ross. That's still on my list. I don't leave till the end of this week, Vicky, for security reasons. I won't tell you exactly when I'm traveling, but no, not really. But end of this week, I head back to Canada. Oh, that hurts to say. I love it here. I think Americans are my people. Maybe I immigrated to the wrong place since I was a baby and I didn't really understand. But I still like the healthcare. Okay. I'm not going to lie about that. Beverly, I watched the International Border Airport Customs show as well. In fact, I would like to point out that I met a couple while I was at Universal Studios who both works in the airport in the UK, one in security and one in customer service. And no, but gifts I received, Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? Still not going to hit any limits. Nobody get any ideas. I didn't get any lavish. Actually, that's not true. I got spoiled very much during this trip. And thank you to those of you who sent a little extra for me to have a little extra fun. I really do appreciate that. But I don't think that's exactly what they mean. Also, like, what about, can we just talk about the the money I left behind? Like that nobody's talking about? Um, like I got my nails done at a nail salon here, which I thought was very nice of me, even though with the exchange rate. See, that's the thing with the exchange rate, it's cheaper living in Canada. I was thrown off because things cost about the same thing, but the Canadian, like you guys should come to Canada and visit with your US dollars. You'll feel like fucking kings. Seriously, you're gonna walk around and pay 40% less for things, but it'll be the same price. Seriously, come to Canada. Come to my part of Canada. How about I start a tour company? Oh my goodness. Have I taken medication today? I'm not sure about that. Listen, guys, hit the like button if you're not already clocked in for your ship. Shift. Take ship. Are you going on a ship? Are you working on a ship? It's too far from Florida, Courtney. It's not too far from Florida. I got here, which means you can get there. You got some Canadian coins? You know, Bev, I'm going to tell you, I was reaching in my purse. This purse is like Mary Poppins' purse, okay? It always pulls something out that I'm not expecting, but it does me well. Thank you to my sister who bought this purse for me. Sorry, that's a funny story that I don't think I can tell on here, but thank you to my sister for buying this nice purse for me, which is super duper versatile and has come all over the US with me at this point. But um I did leave most of my Canadian money at home after my trip to Texas, to Houston, where people laughed in my face and rejected my offer of money because it was Canadian. Like, I get that it might be difficult to find a currency exchange, except that I've now made it my goal to find the currency exchanges, and I found them. They're all over the place. You just have to look. Anyways, but Beverly, as I was digging through there's another dollar. Look at that. As I was digging through, no, I don't have any bills. Listen, again, I'm rich. I wish I had. Actually, I will say this. There's like four times in my life. Oh, the best time. Oh my God. I don't think I can tell that story. Tell that story? Okay, I'll tell that story. Um, No, I don't think I can tell that story. Anyways, regardless, I have a toonie with me. It's been keeping me company this whole time, and it feels like a little piece of home. And I love it. And I'm sorry you guys don't have toonies. They're just great. You can feel your wealth in your pocket when you have a toonie, you know? Like instead of a loonie or a quarter size coin, you feel a toonie and you're like, shit, I got $2. $2, you know? Um, okay, I'll tell the story in a different way. Someone who isn't me, someone who isn't me, someone who isn't me once had a bear, a stuffed animal bear that was that was the someone who isn't me's favorite stuffed animal that they cuddled and stuff. And it was a zippered one where in the back there was a small zippered pocket and you're meant to put your pajamas in that pocket and go on a sleepover. And someone who isn't me absolutely still owns this bear who shall remain nameless. And someone who isn't me was moving once and collected all of my items or all of that person's items to move and unzipped the back of that bear and found like $900 that someone who isn't me had no recollection of putting inside the back of the bear. Someone who isn't me needed that money and was very perplexed but happy. Tried wishing for a few more things after that, just in case it was like a wish thing. It wasn't. Anyways, someone who isn't me absolutely took that money and used it for their needs. And that is one of the only times I've ever found someone who isn't me has ever found money in a pocket that they didn't know about. Otherwise, I track my money pretty good. Once in a while, I found like a $10 bill in a pocket and been like, Jesus fucking Christ, you rich bitch. You forgot about $10. But that one time, oh my God, it was like an angel came down from heaven, said someone who isn't me. Anyways, so tonight, you guys, thank you for being here. Sashina, you're here too. Welcome. We are going to be watching Judge Middleton. What? Judge Middleton? Paisley, we don't watch Judge Middleton. We do sometimes when I want to. We have some misdemeanor first appearances, which I think, first of all, Judge Middleton is an OG, somebody who we all should be familiar with. And if not, a little crazy. Let's talk about it. But Judge Middleton cares. He is not the judge you want to come before because he knows his shit and he knows his town. Let's put it that way. Anyways, thank you guys again for being here. Make sure that you've hit the like button. It's really helpful for someone who isn't me, who doesn't now find $900 in teddy bears. Are Sashina's videos for us to watch, or are they for the kids to watch,
Good
Mel?
morning. Today is
Yes, Judge.
Tuesday, October 10th. We have arraignments today. Judge Pattison has the pre-exam conferences. And then we may have one or more preliminary examinations this afternoon. I just want to comment on something yesterday. We were doing landlord-tenant court, and we had a defendant named Anthony Rhodes, and we were busy doing the business we were doing. And someone called in later and said, we think that video was inappropriate. It was actually on the toilet.
Tell me somebody got that. Tell me a better law tuber than me has already recorded that and made a video of it. The viewer called in. God. Oh, I fucking love it. I love that you saw it, Hector. Was he on the toilet? Remember that time that lady dropped her phone in the toilet in Judge Kim's court? I remember that. Oh, good evening, KT. Welcome. It wasn't me, Melanie says, using the shaggy defense. What we all call the shaggy defense now. It wasn't me. Also, if you notice, I'm wearing my jail-esque outfit. Like sexy jail person outfit, maybe they would call this for Halloween. It is October after all.
um, which is about as bad as it gets, but nobody noticed it at the time. He turned the light off and finished what he was doing, put his phone on his floor, stood up and pulled his pants up. So I deleted all of yesterday's landlord-tenant videos. Um, and so that whole afternoon has been removed. Good morning,
Morning, who are you talking to?
people.
Who are you talking to? Oh my God, is that Nana? Is that his own personal Nana? Who's like, who the fuck are you talking to, Paisley? There's nobody around. You set up this light, this camera, a microphone. Nobody's there. I'm like, there's 16 people here, Nana. 17 now. Maybe even 10 of them have liked this video. Judge Middleton knows the life. Judge Middleton and I could have a that is so relatable. Seriously, so relatable to have somebody be like, "Who are you talking to?"
I thought he's got someone in.
Has been removed. Um, and so that whole afternoon has been removed. Good morning,
Morning, who are you talking to?
people.
I thought he's got someone in court.
Judge Pattison is here offering his advice. Anyway, there was also, I mentioned, and
He even does an off-camera intro for Judge Madison, who's obviously been so long in this game and still doesn't understand Judge Middleton. Let me just scroll here. Who has 44,000 subscribers. Oh, that was a bit of a shock. Oh, that was a gut punch. Holy fuck. That one hurt. That one hurt a little bit. I think you deserve it 100%, Judge. Please monetize.
an article that was in the Three Rivers newspaper, which used to be a wonderful daily paper. Now it only comes out once a week. It's called the Three Rivers Commercial. I think you can look it up online. There was a nice article about our visitors from California by a very good newspaper writer who's retired but made a special effort
Newspaper writer sounds like the oldest way of saying that. Oh,
to do a story about that. And for them and everyone else who has come here to visit, we greatly appreciate their interest. It's,
mean it a
humbling,
bit more,
actually.
Judge.
I think our
Take it
flood
back.
is done. They still have the ServPro people upstairs. I believe they're going to be back to work. It has not come down from the second floor to the first floor. So we'll hope for the best. We have about 10 arraignments this morning, a couple of other short motions. And we also have a couple of bench warrants, I think, to address.
Spicy morning.
I'll let this run for just a minute.
Judge does run his courtroom at a pace.
It's always interesting to me to see where everybody is from.
A meandering pace.
As I mentioned earlier, our wonderful string of weather has come to an end. So it's 41 and cold and fall has fallen, although the leaves are all starting to turn.
Well, you can see by my tan, which I get very difficult, with great difficulty, I'll say, that Florida is not experiencing the same weather, Judge. Come on down and experience it. I love Florida so much. Oh my God.
Good morning. Here's our public defender, Mr. Stickley, and some clients. So thank you for saying hello.
Judge.
Good morning.
We have some check-ins, but I don't know where they're at.
Do we need any interpreter?
They did not say at the door. Let me double check because I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, Judge, come on. You're going to make me
All right,
unpack all my cool stuff. Okay.
Anyway, thank you, everyone. I guess it's time to get to business. You may want to check out that article. Mr. George
Is Judge
was
forwarding
present
articles?
during that landlord-tenant hearing yesterday, and he didn't notice it either, but when I watched it afterwards, I saw what was going on and I deleted it. We had a person that was in landlord-tenant court on the toilet, and we didn't catch it till someone alerted us to it, so I deleted it.
Also, narc crew for Judge Middleton out of the 44,000 of you. Fuck off, please. Stop being a narc. Fuck off. Tip me off and then tip him off. How about that?
I guess that's what he thought of the judicial process.
Hopefully the plumbing worked.
I don't know. He's moving, so maybe that'll all be for the best. Good morning, everyone who's here and who's watching remotely. We've got several misdemeanor arraignments this morning. Misdemeanor arraignment is the process where the judge tells you what you're charged with and asks you how you wish to plead to the charge. Most of these cases today are traffic cases, and I'll explain to you what the punishment is. And our chief public defender, Mr. Stickley, is here to offer any advice if necessary. So thank you all for being here on time.
So do I, the night listener. We don't kick people here except when I decide to, and then we have a quarterly ban removal process on Discord. So, yeah. But other than that, we don't kick trolls. But I do prefer good trolling. Like bad trolling just makes me a little bit sad inside. If you're a good troll, I'll fucking laugh at you and love it. William, you know that's not true. If you think that's true, who be you, boo?
Mr. Garcia Rubio or Mr. Garcia, do either of you need an interpreter? All right, very good. Let's start out with Claudia Thompson. Would you come forward, please? Come right up here to the podium, if you would. I don't think you need an interpreter. That's what they said. Good morning. Are you Claudia Thompson?
Yes, sir.
You got a ticket on September 30th for driving without a valid license under Three Rivers City ordinance. Mr. George was just here. He's the assistant Three Rivers City attorney. Let's take a look at your driving record.
Hi, Miss Donna, Orlando
You
Chiquita.
just don't have a license.
Yep.
So there's nothing bad on here. We have people that can't get a license because they have 3 drunk driving convictions, or they have 57 points on their license, or they don't have lawful residency status. There's nothing bad here. You just don't have a license. How old are you?
27, sir.
Did you ever take driver's ed back in the day?
No,
So you've never had a license?
no, sir.
Okay. Have you done anything to try to get a license?
I was going to, but I'm in the process of moving, and I also have 2 years of probation, and I have to pay $800 some odd dollars on that as well.
Where's the probation from?
I see Tracy here in Three Rivers,
Okay. Where are you moving to?
Jones, Michigan.
Well, I thought maybe you were moving out of state.
No.
That's not very far. It's about 3 miles over the county line. Mr. George is here. She has no license. She's never had a license. She doesn't plan to get a license. Do you have any words of wisdom here?
We would just do the invalid option.
All right.
Obviously, if she'd like the opportunity, she has to put it someplace she has.
I have a license. I'm not even talking out of my ass. I'm not going to show it because the lady made me take a really fat picture on purpose. She was being mean because here's what she did. She said, "Do you want to change your weight on your license?" And I was like, "I suppose if you're asking me to change my weight, I will do it." I'm not gonna, oh, fuck, Hector, I'm not gonna dox myself by showing my license. But my whole point is that she made me change the license, like the weight on the license, which I still lied about. And then I get the license in the mail like 4 weeks later, and I look at it and I'm like, bitch left my hair blonde. She didn't mention blonde hair. This has been fucking almost black for fucking years. And she said about my weight, like, that's an insult, okay? It would be one thing to be like, did you need to update all this? Because you are catfishing us. But instead, she just said the weight. And then what happened was she was like, we need to see both of your ears in the picture. I'm like, both of my ears? I have baby ears. They're absolutely tiny. What do you mean? And it made me have my face like down like that. It was horrible. She was being mean on purpose. It's really mean of her. She was not trying to be subtle. If she was trying to be subtle, she'd be like, do you need to update your information on your driver's license? It looks like you have blonde hair. Oh my God. And then I'd be like, God, you're right. I don't have blonde hair anymore. I have like brown hair. And she'd be like, oh, I guess your height hasn't changed very much, but like, did your weight change a little bit? And I'd be like, oh my God, girl, COVID. Like, right? Like, brie cheese, love it. And then I'd be like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And she'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'll put that in. But instead, she was like, did you want to change your weight on your driver's license? And then literally left it saying blonde for the next 5 years. Like, she didn't care. She only cared to make me feel like shit.
What he said, to translate, means if you're interested in getting a license, we could adjourn this a month or so to have you start the process to get your license with the
Also, my passport makes me look like a Russian gangster. I will not dox myself, but I will show you the picture on my passport that I have because I'm an adult. Adults have passports. Anyways, I look like a Russian gangster who's like this is the picture that Russian Secret Service has of her. That is like, oh, we gotta watch out for this.
Um, Driver License Appeal Division. Now, you're certainly not going to go to jail for this. You're going to pay $100 fine and $125 of costs if you're convicted.
Okay.
So, but he's willing to adjourn this if you want to try to get your license. What would you like to do here today?
I want to try to get my license.
All right. There's really no reason why you can't. I'm kind of surprised your probation agent has tried to make you do that, but I guess they got enough things to worry about. Are you in any of the programs upstairs?
No, I do go to Pivotal though. I have a couple different things I'm doing there. One of them I haven't started yet because it's still dated out. But I sit in a circle and we talk about what we were convicted of and how we're gonna do better. And then
That sounds like our Sunday court watching anonymous meetings where we talk about how much court we watch and how our it has a Katy Perry vibe, thanks, Holly. It's a 10-year passport with 3 years left on it. So that was 7 years ago. But, and about, as the girl pointed out at the driver's license plate, enough weight to ask about it.
therapy, and then one is like a drug treatment class as well.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were in one of the drug programs or Swift and Sure or. But I don't think your conviction must be.
Also, if we ever hear the Sergeant Woods case again, I want everybody to flood whatever chat that is, regardless if they have Streamlabs or not, with exclamation mark wood. Okay? Just promise me that. Because I love that saying. How much wood would Sergeant Wood wife suck if she sucked someone else's wood? Like that haunted my dreams last night in a beautiful way.
From another county? Where were you convicted of a circuit court case?
Here, I've seen the other judge.
Judge Stutzman,
Yep,
Thom, there's no P. Where are you from originally?
Goebbels.
Okay. All right, well, good. Okay, so you'd like to try to get your license?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're gonna have to go to the Secretary of State's office, either in Sturgis or Dowagiac or Kalamazoo, and start that process. You're 27, it's time to get a license. You've been driving a car. Priscilla, I don't believe we need an interpreter.
Olivia just let me know that Gregorio Amado Garcia needs an interpreter.
He told me he didn't. Gregorio, do you need an interpreter?
He just walked in.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought he was already in here. Thank you.
We have two different Garcias.
Yes. Oscar said he didn't, but I thought Gregorio was also here in the room. Do you work somewhere?
No, sir, I just got fired, but I am looking for another job because that is one of the requirements.
Where did you work?
Exclamation
Aquatic.
mark Monday.
Okay. Well, let's adjourn this until, God, I hate to say this, December 12th. For a pre-trial. See what progress you can make on getting your license. Just going to give you a handwritten notice. in my bad handwriting.
What I would kill for a bad handwriting notice from Judge Middleton. Oh my God. He could say, "You suck, Paisley. Get on with your life."
All right. Bring your license stuff, and you may not have it completed, but if you even started the process, there is if you get convicted of this, no operator's license, you won't be able to get a license for 180 days to a year. If you try to get a license, Mr. George or Mr. Reed from the City of Three Rivers office you guys both got jitters in your legs, as Joni Mitchell says. It won't be that bad, so calm down. Nothing terrible is gonna happen. Kids with jitters in their legs. Anyway, there's a charge that wouldn't go on your driving record and wouldn't affect your ability to keep.
It's called allowing another to operate a vehicle or something like that, I'm guessing.
Or get your license. And it's probably time to get a license. And so we're all in favor of that. So you're good to go. I will see you on the 12th of December. And let's see how much progress you can make at that time.
Do I keep this with me? They told me to fill this out.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, so
You got a question?
She wasn't driving a vehicle, she was on.
Yeah, mopeds. If I were king of the world, I'd make it legal to drive a moped. But it ought to be
Somebody write that one down. If Judge Middleton were king of the world, nobody would drive a moped.
legal to drive a moped, but it ain't. So, yes, so let's see if you can get a license.
thank
Do you have a Michigan ID?
I do.
Okay, all right. I'll see you in December.
Thank you, sir.
And I have to remind myself every day, I'm not king of the world. First
You
I
are
work
the
on
king of the
immigration,
world.
Then I changed the moped law.
Are you shitting me? That's the order you'd go on? Immigration, moped law. These are the striking issues at the heart of America.
Sweeping reforms of the law. There's a few other things I'd do. Let's take our interpreter case so we can free up our staff. Gregorio,
A fucking interpreter case, I'm sorry. I really thought I was avoiding it tonight in Michigan.
Garcia.
He's not even going to work on world hunger at all.
Stuck together. Buenos dias.
Buenos días.
As you said, Gregorio
Sí, Armando.
Armando Garcia.
Ajá.
You got the same ticket the last lady did.
Usted recibió el mismo cargo que la persona anterior.
Sí,
Driving a car without having a valid driver's
el
license.
carro no es mío.
Manejando un vehículo sin licencia.
Tengo licencia,
I have license.
pero no sé por qué no vale.
I'm not sure why it wasn't valid.
Well, may I see it?
Ajá, mexicana.
¿Puedo verlo?
Sí, es la mexicana.
Mexican license, Judge.
Ajá. Y el carro no es mío, pues. Y después ya la señora ya sabía pues que tiene problemas con el carro y no me dijeron. No me dijeron.
The car wasn't mine, and the lady knew that her car had some issues with it, and I wasn't told.
De hecho, le dije a la señora que viniera conmigo, pero no quiso, ¿no?
In fact, I asked the lady whose car it was to come with me, but she didn't want to.
Are we gonna get a big D?
I neglected to swear in our interpreter.
Tengo que jurar nuestra intérprete primero.
Ms. Walton, would you raise your hand? You swear or affirm to the best of your ability you'll interpret these proceedings from Spanish into English and English into Spanish.
I swear.
I don't. Well, my driver's license is valid in the States, in Canada, from Canada. At least I hope it is.
Where do you live, sir?
¿Dónde vive, señor?
Stursi.
Sturgis.
How long have you lived there?
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene allí?
Voy para 2 años.
I'm going into 2 years.
And where do you work?
¿Y dónde trabaja?
Trabajo en el campo.
I work in the fields.
But what are you working on right now?
¿Y qué tipo de qué hace ahorita? No.
I work in the fields, the
Right
most
now, I
weird,
don't have a
obscure.
job.
What crop did you do?
¿Qué tipo de sembra qué hace?
Donde trabajaba,
Ajá.
tipo de la marihuana, corte.
I would cut marijuana.
Sir. I don't know if that's the best job. You should tell them maybe just say unemployed, maybe. I appreciate your honesty. My God.
De hecho, cuando me pagaban, pues venía del trabajo.
In fact, when I got ¿qué hace?
Donde trabajaba,
Ajá.
tipo de la marihuana, corte.
I would cut marijuana.
De hecho, cuando me pagaban, pues venía del trabajo.
In fact, when I got stopped, I was coming from work.
Como las 10.
Where's the field?
¿Dónde está el campo?
Está más adelante de ¿cómo se llama? Kalamazoo.
It's like north of Kalamazoo.
Is it legal in isn't Kalamazoo, Missouri? The Indian in the cupboard. That's a good story, Dana. I like that one. If weed is legal, then that's great for him. But he should have a Michigan driver's license, maybe. Like he's got to come up with a name of a licensed producer at this point. Kalamazoo is in Michigan. All right. You guys know better than I do. I don't know that shit.
Well, what state is your license from?
¿De qué estado es su licencia?
Estado de Guerrero.
The state of Guerrero.
This looks valid.
Esta licencia se ve legítima.
And this looks like your voter registration card.
Y esa otra se ve como su registración para votar.
Es así, ¿cómo se llama? Verificación.
Yes, it's what you would call an identification.
We have this problem almost every day.
Tenemos este tipo de problema casi todos los días.
No.
If you are here from Mexico to visit,
Si usted está aquí de México visitando
and you have a valid
No.
Mexican driver's license,
Vengo a trabajar.
y tiene una licencia válida para manejar,
it can be registered and you can drive with it.
puede estar registrada y manejar con él.
Ajá.
If I go to Michoacan for a visit,
Si yo voy a Michoacán a visitar,
I believe I can drive with my Michigan driver's license.
Creo que yo puedo manejar con mi licencia de Michigan.
I don't think I would do that, but I think I could.
No creo que haría eso, pero yo pienso que podría.
However, if I moved there for 2 years,
Pero si me muevo allí por 2 años,
I would have to get a Mexican driver's license.
yo tuviera que sacar una licencia mexicana.
And the same thing applies here.
Y lo mismo aplica aquí.
Now, this case was charged under White Pigeon Village Ordinance.
Y este caso fue un cargo bajo la ordenancia de White Pigeon.
And the White Pigeon Village attorney sent me an email yesterday
Y el fiscal de White Pigeon me mandó un correo electrónico ayer
saying that there was no plea offer,
diciendo que no había una ofrenda,
except they would just recommend fines and costs only.
que ellos nomás recomienden que le den una multa.
So here are our options.
So aquí están nuestras opciones.
You can enter a plea of guilty.
Usted puede declararse culpable
And pay a fine of $75.
y pagar una multa de $75.
Just Debbie to hold it down out there. And $125 in costs
Y más costos de 125
for a total of $200.
por un total de $200 de multa.
Or you can plead not guilty,
O usted se puede declarar no culpable
and I'll ask you to come back.
y le voy a pedir que regrese.
Who's out there?
Who's out there? It's Debbie Davis making a fucking racket with her goat and law talk with Mike in the hallway, apparently. No, I don't know. Also, if you're just getting here, thank you for being here. Presto, yes. Translation case, yes, sir. Tin Man's here. Streamlabs is here. You know, what's funny is that he was on strike and I explained, like, hey, dude, I fucking paid you already. Like, we're fucking kosher. We're clear here. He checked his records. We were clear. And he came back to work. So, you know, as usual, I'm right.
And meet with the White.
Morel Miguel! Welcome, welcome, welcome back. We miss you too. Don't matter where you are. Oh, Chaw's here too. Chawdaska Dum. Can't read your name, Chaw. I just call you Chaw in my head. Red shirt. Being real.
White Pigeon Village attorney
Y hablar con el fiscal de White Pigeon
and discuss this with them
y hablar con ellos sobre la licencia
and see if he's willing to alter the charge.
y a ver si él puede alterar el cargo.
Do you have lawful residency status?
¿Usted tiene residencia legalmente?
Sí.
Yes.
Not yet,
You got
Presto,
work,
but I have a couple days.
visas?
¿Usted tiene visa de trabajo?
No.
No.
The law in this area is complicated.
La ley en esta área está complicada.
Let me give him his licenses back.
Le voy a regresar su licencia.
So if you wish to plead not guilty, you'll have to come back on another day so you can talk to the village attorney.
Si usted se quiere declarar no culpable, entonces tuviera que regresar otro día
If
y
you wish
hablar
to
con el
plead
fiscal.
guilty,
Si usted se quiere declarar culpable hoy,
I'm going to fine you $200,
le voy a dar una multa de $200.
and this will go on your driving record.
Y este cargo va a ir en su récord de licencia.
What would you like to do?
¿Qué quisiera hacer?
Pagar los 200, pero si me puede dejar un mes para pagar.
I would like to pay the fine, but can you give me
No
a
tengo
month
trabajo.
or so to pay it?
Certainly.
Está bien, le doy un tiempo para
Sí.
pagarlo.
Sí. Poco.
Yes, thank you.
Do you understand you're giving all of these rights up?
¿Usted entiende que está dejando los derechos que tiene? Yes.
And were you driving a car that day, which was September 29th?
¿Usted estaba manejando ese día un carro el 9 de septiembre?
Sí,
Yes.
fuimos a trabajar.
Where were you going?
¿A dónde iba?
Ya veníamos
Thank you, Miss Donna. You're so sweet. You know, when I first met Donna in person, she saw me. She goes, "You look exactly the same as you do on the internet." I'm like, that is a pretty good compliment comparatively to most people on the internet, you know. This is what you get. I can only do so much with angles and filters. Actually, I don't use any filters. I just use angles and lights and makeup.
A la casa.
I was returning home.
From where?
¿De dónde?
Del trabajo, pues.
From work.
Whose car were you driving?
¿De quién era el carro que estaba manejando?
Una señora.
This lady.
Okay.
This lady, this random lady. Also, yeah, Donna has amazing furniture in her house. I love it very much.
Y así que la licencia no vale. ¿O cómo?
So the Mexican license isn't valid?
No,
No,
No.
it is in Mexico.
es válida en México.
Ujú.
Hold on, somebody better check. Is Canada different? It is. I checked. They said I was
Power card.
good.
Let's see what this is. Yes. If it is a treaty country, now, if it's not a treaty country and they don't have lawful residency status, it doesn't matter. If it's a treaty country and they have lawful residency status, it does. If it's a treaty country, it doesn't matter whether they're here legally or not. So you don't need to show proof of legal presence is correct, and Mexico is a treaty country.
Como es un país, México, un país que nosotros trabajamos con, no tienes que enseñar tu licencia, pero si es un,
Then why
si no
isn't
es
he
un estado que
good?
sí, entonces uno tuviera que enseñar su licencia.
Erica
And
gets a
so
cookie.
they have to have a license printed in English or printed with an English translation.
So, si tuviera una licencia, si la licencia mexicana tuviera que traer, incluir una traducción en inglés la licencia.
There's some additional law
Hay unas leyes adicionales
about residing here for a period of time.
de viviendo aquí por un tiempo.
Mr. Reed and I have done a lot of research on this.
El fiscal Reed y yo hemos tratado de
What kind of fucking research has he done on this? I'm looking at my driver's license right now and I'm also Googling it because I do believe that Erica's right. I mean, I've never worried about it before. When you rent a car, okay, when you rent a car in the States, they're always like, "Do you want to buy the insurance?" And everybody in Canada is like, "Oh, we already got that covered by XYZ, like different company." And because when you get it with your auto insurance though, you know? Honestly, I just want to make sure that I'm okay for Miss Donna and driving her car. I would not want to fuck her up. I don't really care about anything other than that, but I would never ever. I did check because I never ever would want to put her in jeopardy or anything like that. I appreciate her so much and everything she's given me. So it would be a nightmare to me if for some reason this was not valid. But I'm on vacation as a Canadian. You guys are very kind to us, not only in your restaurants and resorts, but at your driver's licensing places. So
hacer mucha investigación en esto.
You
I'm in Florida.
may be able to. Well, the other problem is I can't tell whether your license is valid.
El otro problema es que yo no puedo saber si la licencia es válida o
I've
no.
seen some very convincing documents
Yo he visto documentos que son muy convincentes,
that people bought at a tienda in Goshen
que la gente ha comprado esas licencias en una tienda en
and
Goshen.
had holographic information
tiene
and
toda la información,
it was false.
pero era falsa.
Ujú.
I think they paid $25 for it.
Creo que pagaron como 25
And so
dólares.
I've seen a lot of false documents.
So, he visto muchos documentos falsos.
I believe your documents are real.
Yo creo que tus documentos que tienes son, son reales.
I believe you have a license.
I'm
in
good.
Guerrero.
Yo sé que tienes licencia en Guerrero.
However, it's not trans.
Up to 3 months, I would be good to drive here, it says here. The U.S. allows all visitors to drive up to 3 months with a foreign driving license. This is from the date that they make entry into the U.S. as per official records. Post this, your foreign driver's license will not work. To continue driving, you must obtain an IDP or an international driving permit. Please remember to keep your hands and feet inside the car during the ride. Thank you.
Translated or printed in English.
Pero como no está traducida en inglés ni escrita en inglés.
And the other problem is that you live here
Y el otro problema es que usted vive aquí
and have lived here for 2 years.
y ha vivido aquí por 2 años.
So that license is certainly valid for identification purposes.
So, esa licencia sí es válida por razones de identificación,
But it may not be legal for driving purposes.
pero no creo que es legal por razones para manejar.
I'm familiar with this. I guess I'll call it a report or document
Yo
that Mr. Stickley shared with me.
soy un poco familiar en el documento que el señor Stickley me dio.
So, Mr. Stickley, what's your recommendation?
So, señor Stickley, ¿qué es su recomendación?
My recommendation would be if the gentleman ascertains that he's a Michigan resident, his intention is to stay here, then he probably has a problem. If his intention is to go back to Mexico, then it would appear that the document should be valid on its face.
Mi recomendación es que si el señor está aquí y
First of all, T-Rex, maybe you missed the intro of the video where we talked about how Judge Middleton is an OG, and I'm never going to say that he's talking out of his ass, ever. Sorry, but Judge Middleton is literally OG. He means well, he knows his town, his jurisdiction, and his people, and he does his best to keep them in line and handled. So, no, I don't think he's talking out of his ass. I think he's trying his best. That's what I think.
está viviendo aquí, entonces la licencia no cuenta, pero si está aquí nomás visitando de México y piensa regresar a México, puede ser válida la licencia.
But as I recall from some recent discussions last week, residency is defined as
Well, each and everything. I mean, let's be realistic. Even I love it when somebody yanks my ponytail. It has to be the right person, and it has to be the right moment. Otherwise, they get a fucking punch to the face.
a place where one intends to return to.
Y como yo desde al tiempo, el tipo de residencia es un lugar donde la persona piensa regresar a.
Mr. Stickley, the public defender,
Señor Stickley, el defensor público,
who won't be the one defending you,
que no va a ser la persona defendiendo,
thinks that you may have some defense.
él piensa que a lo mejor tiene alguna defensa.
And I'm willing to set this for a pretrial so you can talk to the White Pigeon Village attorney.
Estoy dispuesto a mover esto a que tenga una consulta previa para que usted pueda hablar con el fiscal de White Pigeon.
That means you'll have to come back on another day.
Pero eso significaría que usted tuviera que regresar otro día.
So I will accept your plea if that's what you wish to do.
So, yo puedo aceptar su declaración si es lo que quiere hacer.
I will fine you
Le
$200
doy la multa de $200
and I'll give you 30 days to pay it,
y le doy 30 días para pagarlo,
but it will go on your driving record.
pero sí va a estar en su récord de licencia.
If you don't wish to plead,
Si
we
no,
can set the pretrial.
si no se quiere declarar, podemos hacer esto otro día y hacer la conferencia de previa.
What would you like to do?
¿Qué es lo que quiere hacer?
Pagar los 200, ¿no?
Pay the $200.
All right.
Sí,
Está bien.
sí. No, va, 30 días.
Do you go back to Mexico when the crop season is done?
Cuando
Oh, Judge, he is so cute. Marijuana crop season is never done because it's valuable. So they do it all the time. Also, if you guys are just getting here, please go ahead and clock in for your shift. Hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. We are on a slow, like achingly slow crawl to 500 when we will get fun stickers back and all the good stuff. So please do that. Odds are like a few of you haven't. And I'll know if you have because like I knew somebody did today and then unsubscribed and I was like, wow, fuck you. Thank you so much. That really fucking helps.
no está en el tiempo del campo, ¿usted regresa a México?
No, voy
No.
a estar jugando aquí.
No, I will remain here.
Ujú. No, de hecho,
Alright.
he manejado, pero nunca tuve problemas con.
In fact, I've driven before, but I've never had an issue with the police.
I would go to the Michigan Secretary of State's office
Yo lo que recomiendo es ir a la oficina de secretaria.
with someone who can interpret for you.
That's good news,
con alguien
then.
que pueda interpretar por usted.
Ask them if you can get the English translation.
Y preguntarle si usted puede sacar la traducción en inglés, la licencia.
Or
O
start the process to get a Michigan driver's license.
empezar el proceso de sacar la licencia de Michigan.
You're a little bit vague on what your residency status is.
Usted no dice bien qué es su estado de residencia.
You can't get a Michigan license unless you have lawful residency status.
No puede sacar licencia de Michigan si no tiene residencia legalmente.
What I say is you are between a rock and a hard place.
Lo que yo digo es que está entre una roca y un lugar duro.
I'm never sure how that translates,
Nunca estoy seguro cómo se traduce eso.
but it means
Not very good, Judge. Let's be honest. That doesn't translate very good. Rock in a hard place. I mean, again, I do love this judge and what he's doing for us, but sometimes it doesn't translate well. I think Judge Middleton can be glad that he doesn't have the number of translator cases that this channel has by chance.
it is a difficult question without a clear answer.
Pero significa que es una pregunta difícil con una respuesta no clara.
I fine you $75
Le doy una multa de $75
and costs of $125.
y costos de $125.
That's $200.
Ese es un total de $200.
I'm gonna make it due by November 17th.
Y se debe el 17 de noviembre.
Can you pay it by then?
¿Lo puede pagar para
Sí.
ese tiempo?
Sí, no sé, lo he hecho,
Yeah,
porque-
yes.
pero sí voy a poder manejar o ya no.
But am I allowed to continue to drive or not anymore?
I believe the answer is no.
Creo que la respuesta es no.
No.
So you can get an English translation of your license,
So, ¿puede sacar una traducción
En
de
inglés.
licencia de inglés?
Sí.
Yes.
or try to start the process of getting a Michigan license.
O puede tratar de empezar el proceso de sacar una licencia de Michigan.
Good morning, Mr. Miller.
How are you, Judge?
You just visiting?
I'm here to talk to Mr. Stickley.
Okay. Do you have a warrant for him or anything, or just?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Done.
Yeah, you're free to go.
You have a warrant for Mr. Stickley, the lawyer?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Priscilla. Priscilla. Hi, Iowa. Thank you so much. You guys remember, please check.
We have PVCs all over.
John, shut up. I'm talking right now about Iowa's critter camps, which are fucking cute. They're even cuter than your ponytail, which I have to admit is pretty cute. Okay. But Iowa's critter camps are where the critters are all paid actors and the cams are dipped in peanut butter. I fucking love that one too. That one gets me going every night. I'm always laughing about it. Anyways, guys, seriously, she's linked on my channel. Please go follow her. She does great stuff. Plus, we met up in Florida. She's the real deal. I can vouch for her. I met her in person. That's what happens when you meet people in person.
Over plus probate court people talking to people down here and circuit court, we can't send anyone upstairs because of the flooding issue. The noise.
So they can't go upstairs?
We can have no one go upstairs at all per orders of the chief judge. So everybody has to.
Is the chief judge back?
Yes, he came back in this morning. So apparently there's some issue and a slight possibility that.
You're right. Each and everything. Met up in Florida is a euphemism. We had a business meeting. I'm going to say that. We had a business dinner. We had a business dinner. Okay. There was business talk. There was dinner. It encompassed a business dinner.
On the ceiling tile fall down and fall on people. So they don't want anybody upstairs. So everyone that is coming in for probate or certain, we have to call their personnel downstairs to talk to them. It's gonna be a mess.
Yes, we still are overcoming the ramifications of the flooding problem from yesterday.
Code for an orgy. I'm gonna say that's not what that was code for. Thank you very much. Iowa Backyard Cams, Mikey and I were having a business dinner. It was a business dinner. I may have got a goddamn salad. And no, it wasn't bought for me. I paid for my own dinner. We all paid for our own dinners. It was nice. Listen, I've had many orgies, okay? This was not what I wanted that night. I wanted a business dinner. That's what we had, a business dinner.
Also, our roofing problem was supposed to start, project was supposed to start. And
tomorrow,
due to the weather, we're going
Hawk, no tails. I mean, sorry, yeah, cocktails. For sure, had cocktails.
to start a week later. Demolition will start October 23rd. It will take the entire west parking lot. Dude, it's going to be an unpleasant fall here. Oscar Rubio Garcia, would you come forward?
You guys are making me laugh so hard. Did he beat me with his
This
fake
is
leg?
file
In a way.
231728. Are you Oscar Rubio Garcia?
Yeah.
You got a ticket in Sturgis on September 1st for operating without a valid license, defective equipment, and no proof of insurance. Why the Sturgis officers keep writing these tickets under state statute is a mystery to me. Mr. George isn't here. Mr. George and Mr. Reed have talked to the chief. When they happen in Sturgis, it should be written under Sturgis ordinance. Sturgis gets the.
I have no control over if he shows up or not. Also, Courtney, I've been trying to teach myself that lesson. Mike, you're bad. Oh my God. It was a goddamn business meeting.
The fine money, Sturgis has the discretion to negotiate the case. They keep writing them under state law because I think they just click the box on the e-citation. Do you have any?
Hey, listen, amputee porn is some people's kink, and we don't shame that here. I'll just say that.
Insurance now?
Yeah, I have it in.
You have proof of insurance? You have a
Yeah.
license too?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Have a seat. If this was a Sturgis case, I'd have Mr. George see you. So you have license, insurance, and you fixed the defective equipment?
I was gonna come pay it.
Well, let's take a look. So just have a seat.
Mayor, you think I'm blushing a little bit?
Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
What do you have here today?
We had a hearing.
Oh, except you're flooded out.
Yeah, it's, boiler broke, so I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, well, hello.
Hello.
I'm hoping your case is making some progress. Well, once you got tornadoed out
Yeah,
and now you're flooded out, so you have nothing but bad thoughts of
I
coming.
think it's me. I don't know, so.
Well, I was hopeful that case would get to some resolution.
I think we're marching toward that direction, so.
Who's representing the defendant now?
Cloud Soldiers still,
Oh, still, okay, and that'll help.
yeah.
I'm gonna need the assistance of the county prosecutor, and I don't know if they've got one. Shayna, if someone's doing pretrials, I need some help on a pretrial case. The gentleman has gotten a license and has gotten insurance, and I'm sure the prosecutor will give them some consideration. Jeffrey Thompson. Mr. George,
Yes, sir.
I got another one of those infamous Sturgis tickets from Frank Noel,
Okay.
who wrote everything under state statute. It's a no ops, defective equipment, and no proof of insurance. Defendant now has his license, has proof of insurance. It's gonna take care of the defective equipment, and I need a county prosecutor to deal with it. I know
did
you.
talk to Mr. Green about that, so hopefully-
I know you both talked to the chief. I've been crying this song for 6 months. And I guess it doesn't matter, except it would be so much easier if they were under ordinance so you could do them. We're always shorthanded with the prosecutor staff. But this is Mr. Thompson, who is an ordinance disorderly person case under Three Rivers. Mr. Thompson, the allegation is that you were a disorderly person on September 29th in the city of Three Rivers, written under Three Rivers ordinance. Now, let's see what happened. Sixth Avenue and Collins Street, out by the bus garage. You were a disorderly person at 1535. That's the sum total of what I know about it. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The normal fine for this is $200, $75 fine, and $125 in costs. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
All right. Mr. George, the city attorney, is here. I don't know any of the facts.
Same way I plead to knowing about Mikey's leg. Not guilty?
From the ticket.
Am I allowed to say something?
Don't say it.
Yeah, don't say much. Mr. Stickley, he's the public defender. And people are often, they just want to explain what happened. And I don't blame them. But sometimes that can affect anything you say would be on the record, and then the prosecutor use it against you if it comes to that. It looks like it's in the middle of the afternoon. 9:29 is a Thursday. This looks like
Thursday. I recall the Thursday, in fact, of 9:29. What were you doing on Thursday, 9:29?
get out of school time near the
Mhm.
high school.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, on the way to pick up my little brother
All
from school.
Any input, Mr. George?
Your Honor, the offer would be as charged. I think it might be wisest in this situation with my counsel. So
All right. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
This young man,
Oh, that was Miss Debbie Davis's voice, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Debbie Davis. Oh, love it. Love it. Also, T Rex says, not to Melanie Copeland, not your dad, nor your daddy. That's not my role. It's a tough one, T Rex. A lot of ladies like that. But you can't fake being a daddy, let me tell you.
is this should be a Sturgis case.
Oh, they can write them down.
I know they do. They like you better, I guess. Anyway, he's got his license and he's got his insurance and he's willing to show that to you. All right. I don't know what happened, Mr. Thompson, but I told you nothing terrible was going to happen. And so the prosecutor recommends and the public defender recommends that you plead not guilty and we get an attorney to help you with this. Is that acceptable to you?
Is that acceptable to you?
All right. Reading the nuances of the ticket, you confirmed that it's something that happened at or near the high school at get out of school time. I'm going to appoint an
And have
attorney.
the school time, is that dismissal?
Is this Mr. Garcia?
No,
here?
Mr. Rubio is back here.
Okay.
And set attorney pretrial for, are you missing work right now?
Kind of. I called off
Where do you work?
Taco Bell.
What time do you start?
Usually after like the. I guess
Kinda,
depends on
not
the
really.
house, so it's
Usually like after
kinda
the
like
day
Well,
starts,
this will be
8:30.
8:30 at November
Late at night.
3rd.
maybe the next
At
day. Sometimes,
8:30.
usually just Mondays. I start Mondays.
So I'll ask the bailiff to take you out to the court office, get an attorney to help you with this, take a
Buy
closer
each
look
and
at it.
everything.
At this point, Three Rivers isn't willing to reduce it, but you're not likely to go to jail for this, so you're free to go.
Peace out, A-Town.
What's your name? Okay, you're a little late, but better late than not. Miss Boyd, why don't you come up?
That's what she said. Better late than not, I suppose. Thank you for, I guess, finally producing whatever.
This is file number 231908OT, People versus Elizabeth Carolyn Boyd. That's you?
Yes.
We've had several of these today, and you're about our fourth or fifth one, driving without a valid operator's license. This happened in the city of Three Rivers.
DWAL, DWAP, deriving without an operator's permit or license. It's either DWAP or DWAL. Honestly, what the fuck, people? Michigan, don't fuck around with this. This is like Washington and Home Depot, okay? You don't go to Home Depot in Washington if you want to steal something. They will fuck you up, okay? That's what I've learned watching court. And what I'm learning in Michigan is don't fucking drive without a driver's license. They like to fuck you up for that. Okay? It's like weed in Florida. Okay? Each state has its own little thing. Michigan, it's the driving license. As Judge Middleton will say, we like to put you on the carousel of driving without a license so that you can just go on that treadmill for about 9 years until you figure your shit out. It's not really funny, Judge.
No valid operator's license is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Does carry 2 points. The normal fine for this is $200. Let's take a look at your driving record. It was about 11:30 at night. You used to be a blonde.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recognize you in the picture. We had the same circumstance a little earlier this morning. The young woman, she had no baggage. She just didn't have a license. No tickets, no points, no nothing. How old are you, Miss Boyd?
I'm 20.
Oh, that lady was 27. Would you like to try to get a license?
Yeah, I've been trying. I just recently lost my job, so I'm not able to pay to get my license.
All right. What we did in the other cases, we adjourned it until December 12th to give you time to go to the Secretary of State and get your license.
Okay.
Are you willing to do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where did you work?
Subway in Sturgis.
Okay, I'm not sure how you happen to be a 3 hours at 11:30 at night, but there's nothing in here that prohibits you from getting a license. But before you got here, we had a long struggle with a man who's a Mexican citizen, and there's issues of whether he can even get a license. There's nothing here. Did you ever have a license in another state?
Long struggle. We're all here for that. I don't feel like that was a long struggle.
Get a license.
Also, thank you, Jesus, for carts.
Continue for pre-trial for December 12th at 8:30. Mr. George will have 2 of these that day. You're going to need to go to the Secretary of State's office in Sturgis and start the process to do everything. It's a little harder when you didn't take driver's ed, but you have to take the written test, take the driving test, get a provisional license. So it takes a while. So it might not even be done by December 12th. But if you take the steps to start the process, the prosecutor will give you some consideration. This charge, it isn't a very heavy duty charge. It's a maximum fine of $100 plus costs, carries 2 points, but it will go on your driving record and prohibit you from getting a driver's license for a period of time. So if you start the process to get a license, the prosecutor can change this to a charge that won't show up on your driving record or affect your ability to get a license. So it's time. If you're going to be driving around, you might as well get a license. And so that's the prosecutor's theory and ours, that we try to do.
Thank you to whoever said I have a nice tan. Thank you. It's taken me 2 weeks to work this into what it is, which is a 0 burn. Okay, we don't want to jinx it. We have a few days left. But this has been a 0 burn vacation so far. That is special. Okay, when you're as pale as me. Even still, I mean, still we can see probably my veins, right? Even though I've been tanning for 2 weeks straight. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's like I wasn't made to be in the sun. Honestly, I don't normally even go outside. spend a lot of time inside. So I've been very good about it. Honestly, in person, it's even sexier. I look over at my arm and I'm like, girl, you so sexy. Not even, I'm not even kidding. Oh, I love it. We'll do an update later. I am sort of glowing. I love you guys.
What we need to do to help people get licensed. A judge here in Michigan started a special court, like a drug treatment court or sobriety court, called a driver's license court, where they try to help people get a driver's license. We do that, but on a more informal basis. Which Boyd are you?
I'm not related to any of the boys around here.
Okay. You're not related to Tom Boyd?
Mm-mm.
That's my boss. But his brother Andy Boyd lives in Sturgis, so I didn't know maybe if he was your uncle. That will be Tuesday. December 12th
Don't say it, Mariel.
at 8:30.
I feel like I
So
belong in this.
this is something you need to do anyway. Now we're just sort of poking you with a.
These people are my people. I love it here. Honestly, America is so growing on me. So is my tan, which I have never achieved, even though I went tanning for a long time.
Stick. You need to start the process to get your license and bring that with you. The prosecutor will cut you some consideration. And
Oh, somebody summoned Mikey. Jonathan. Was it you? Yeah.
maybe you can get fully licensed. Okay. How'd you get here today?
My mother drove me.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Well,
People were disputing our business meeting in Orlando with Iowa. She was here earlier. I said it was a business meeting. I had a salad. People were alleging that I was blushing, which I think it's the lighting, probably. But then we were talking about how good my tan is, and that's not the lighting at all. That's just me being so fucking tan.
Debbie, I haven't been upstairs. How bad is it?
I have not stepped up there either.
What a mess. I know, well, they could use my courtroom here in a minute. I'll be done by 9:15. I'll make that offer. All right, Mr. Rubio, would you come up to the. We return to file 2317.
I do not think they call a business meeting a business throuple, even if there were 3 people at the meeting. It did last 3 hours. That's what she said, Mikey. Humble brag. Point if you remember what our waiter's name was that night and how he spelt it.
28ST. This is a state statute case that should be a Sturgis case. The defendant was here and he has his license. Let me see what you brought with you. Now, what I did with the other two ladies is said, go start the process to get your license. You already did it. So good for you.
You can't tell them the truth that I was polite and a lady? Mikey, that is my whole persona. I was indeed a lady. Iowa can vouch for that as well. I was a very good girl. That day indeed I was.
You actually, all right, so he got
Okay, I'm laughing. I I'm trying to recall what I wore. My aphantasia prevents me from remembering what I properly. I don't remember. I'm so disappointed. I'm sorry I didn't put in any orders.
suspended for a no ops through June 21st. And then after that, he's valid. All right. What happened to you is what would happen to those two young ladies. They would get, yours was a 4-month, February to June.
Oh, out here exposing me, Mikey, a total prude. That's exactly right. Not a drink to be had, not a lay to be had, just boring, prudish old me. Good for business, though, right?
120 days suspension. But you served your suspension and now you're back. So do you have a license?
Yeah,
Do you have that with you?
yeah.
And you have insurance. The charge that I was talking about with the other girls is what?
Hold on, I recall what I wore to dinner. I wouldn't call it prudish, but I would not call it slutty either. I'll say that. Made you pray before dinner? I did. I made you pray to Justin Trudeau and Canadian healthcare.
This Davis has offered to you. When you're young, your driver's license goes like this. When you're old like me, your driver's license goes like this. Anyway.
It's like some of our waistlines, George.
Yes, my waistline used to look like this. Now it looks like this and this. So is my collar button. Anyway, good for you, Mr. Garcia Rubio. You did what I'm asking those other ladies to do, but you did it before you got here. So Ms. Davis is going to dismiss the driving without a valid license for a plea to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That carries no points and doesn't get on your driving record. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. Were you driving that day?
Yes, I was.
And your license had not been reinstated at that time? Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, that's $200, due by November 10th. Can you pay it by then?
I was actually gonna pay it right now.
What are you talking about? I would never be on my phone at all. ever. Ever.
If I
All right.
could.
That's fine. I appreciate when people do that. Theoretically, all fines are immediately due, but the world's changed a lot. And you drove in the only place where you get a window ticket, which is the city of Sturgis.
That's not true. We've heard about that in Florida. I may have said that to a couple of vehicles I got in. I was like, what are you talking about? These windows are very tinted. Also, don't we all spend our whole nights on the phone? I'm being called out so hard right now. So hard.
If you go out in the parking lot, there are several cars out there that probably have illegal window tint, including a big Dodge truck. But if you drive it in Sturgis, you'll get a ticket. So did you have a window tint on your ticket, on your car?
I had a window tint and I had a plate cover too.
All right, well, that'll do it. So that's the defective equipment. Take that plate cover off there. That's 105. Do by the same thing. Do you have $305?
Yeah.
Because my phone makes me happy. In real life has a hard time doing that. That is a beautiful tree. Thank you so much to what the fuck is their name? Is it Corsa? Carsa. Corsa. 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 Oh, my eyes can't. Oh, I told them I paid for my own meal. Looking at her phone and smiling the whole meal. You were so happy you're not paying for that sad ass salad I ordered. I would argue I was not.
All right. We're gonna dismiss the no insurance because you have proof. Really, all we want to do is get people licensed, valid, and insured and live happily ever after. But every single day I deal with people driving without a valid license. This defective equipment will go on there, but nothing else will. And the bailiff will take you out to the court office. You can pay that fine and you're free to go on about your business. Wise, I'll give you these two. Thanks. Thank you, Deborah, for your help. Do you have any pre-trials this morning?
We didn't. That's why I offered to do them.
Well, thanks for your help. I've got several no-shows, including John William Cat, file 231843. He's failed to appear about 5 times. I've called him on the telephone. He was here. Somebody reset this. He has disdain for the court system. He has been a suspended driver for more than 20 years. He has about $900 worth of unpaid fines and costs, and he shows up when he feels like it. I had him in here on like the 28th of September. He said he would be here on October 3rd. He did not show up on October 3rd. I called him on the telephone.
Well, Mikey is a married man who traveled to Florida without your wife. We would not expect you to have gotten laid, except for when you laid yourself out at Universal Studios by falling. Doesn't that count? You got laid out. I think. But that's okay. Sometimes abstinence makes the heart grow fonder.
Did in order to show cause. He also has two other files. He also has a failed to appear in another file.
Just so you where John can just walk the front door.
Oh, well, great. That's what I said. He shows up when he feels like it. Clifton Lee Kern has a failed to appear. There's no insurance. Driving suspended. We will attempt in order to show cause first.
Night, Dana. Thank you for being here and putting up with Mikey's protestations that he is a good boy 24/7.
Mr. Cap is yours. Now, who is KCC? Who am I speaking with?
KCC or kitchen court. Insert your C here. That can stand for cock or whatever you'd like it to stand for, I guess.
What's your name? Which case are you here on? Jericho Holman?
I believe so.
Well, it was Jericho Holman. You've met everybody at one time or another, either here or there.
Sounds like an old swear. Well, you've met everybody either one way or another, either here or at Jerry's house or Andrew's house, Jim's house. And we'll forget Randy's house. That was fucking crazy night. Everybody met everybody that night.
There.
Not as bad as you.
Good night, Loud Elvis. See you tomorrow.
Judge, there is an offer for the gentleman walking in.
What?
There is an offer for the gentleman walking in.
Mr. Cap, yes, Mr. Reed did make an offer some weeks ago. Let's try to take care of this lady.
Jonathan, what are you going to Texas for? Come on, spill the tea.
We can get her in here.
Did I have what?
Good morning.
Mikey?
Are you Jerica Holman?
I don't know. No, I'm kitchen court cases.
This isn't good. This is my daily existence. My hair was not gray when I started YouTube and Zoom.
Tell me about it, Judge.
Miss Holman, can you hear me? There's currently an open felony warrant for your arrest, and I don't really want to zoom this. Ms.
Zoom,
Holman, can
zoom,
you hear
zoom.
me?
Why don't you want to zoom it, Judge? And in the eternal words of
Yeah, nice.
Mazda, zoom, zoom, zoom.
Bandana. All right, Mr. Cap, who shows up when he feels like it, is here now, 45 minutes late for his arraignment. Would you come up to the podium, please? This is file number 2318430T. There's also a ticket for registration plate violation, which is a civil infraction, and a no proof of insurance, which is a civil infraction. The charge of driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500.
93 days in jail versus $500 seems oddly disparate to me. Like, that's fucked up. Also, thank you for coming back, Lisa Figalicious. If you guys are just getting here, make sure you've clocked in for your shift. You've hit the like button. It's like so helpful. Like, so helpful. Also, we don't ask who's getting let in and out of sex dungeons, T-Rex. Come on.
Suspended record that goes back almost 20 years, probably 20 years. You have a bunch of prior driving suspended charges. You've got $810 worth of unpaid fines and costs. Spilling a load, which is $310.
Wow, that's cheaper than I would have thought it would cost to spill a load.
I don't think you paid anything. You got a driving suspended charge in March, which they reduced to no valid operator's license. You owe $350. And as far as I can tell, you paid zero on that. And you also have a zoning violation for $150. So you have multiple prior driving suspended charges. They keep cutting you brakes and you don't pay the fine. So you are.
Well, would you pay people who cut your brakes either? I mean, no, I'd be like, fuck you, stop cutting my brakes. You're an asshole.
Highly likely to get a jail sentence if you're convicted of this. So my suggestion is you get an attorney to assist you with this, because I'm not very happy with your disrespect for the court. And the fact that you don't show up when you're supposed to and show up an hour late and you don't pay your fines. So my suggestion is you get an attorney to help you with this.
And Your Honor, Mr. George did relay an offer to me on his way out.
That was a previous offer by Mr. Reed on one of the occasions that Mr. Cap didn't show up, being put the offer on the record.
There was an offer of no ops.
He didn't pay the last no ops.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I've been paying for the last 5 years consistently on my fines through the Centerville courthouse here, and I'm on a fixed income with Social Security. I talked to him. I thought that I was up to speed with all of it. I'm not clearly.
I don't. When did you make your last payment?
Last month.
Let's
on
find out.
the 3rd or something. Did I get my check on the 1st?
Well, I'm still likely to put you in jail. You got a no ops in March, and you're here again in September doing the same thing. So no, you can't pay $10 a month and keep driving a car. Ms. Holman, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ms. Holman, all right, sit still. I'll be with you in a minute.
It's Miss Hayworth, by the way.
It's Miss Hayworth,
Right,
so I
Miss
answered to
Hayworth.
Miss Holman.
Anyway, you can plead to no ops if you want to, but I'm likely to put you in jail.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor. I plan on putting $100 towards them fines that you speak of.
All right, well, I'm going to appoint an attorney. Let's see how you do on paying this.
Okay.
Set attorney pretrial. Why are you late?
I was looking for the no insurance paperwork, and my mother, which I had to drive me here. She's hard to get around.
They've always got an excuse. His mother? Really? Are you fucking joking me right now?
She's disabled as well.
I know you fell off the ladder earlier this summer.
I fell out of a tree and broke my leg and my hip.
I thought he meant fell off the wagon. He means literally fell off a ladder.
And my pelvis. I fractured my pelvis. I started my physical therapy today. I'm supposed to talk to my PT, OT, and stuff of that nature. I'm taking the tools that you guys gave me with the Swift and Sure program.
You guys gave me the ladder. I used that ladder to fall and break my bones. Now,
Yes.
Open up my toolbox, and I'm trying to be accountable for my actions. I apologize for how it looks.
All right, well, stop driving.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what we're gonna do here. Some of this is on you if you can. I couldn't tell whether anything had been paid on any of these. It didn't look like it, so we'll check on that. But anyway, let's get a lawyer, show a plea of not guilty, and let's see what you can do between now and November 3rd. All right, the bailiff will take you out to the court office. Put that with that. Ms. Holman or Ms. Hayworth?
Yes, sir.
There's an open warrant for your arrest. And this is a hearing regarding your bonding company. A bench warrant issued for your arrest in this file, which is 23175FY. You were set for a preliminary examination back in February. Your attorney was Lori Hines. You failed to appear for your pre-exam conference in February, and Judge Pattison issued a bench warrant for your arrest. Then there was a bond forfeiture in May. You got arrested in June. And Judge Pattison saw you on a Polycom and set the pre-exam conference for June 23rd. They offered a plea to use of methamphetamine and forfeit the taser. They set the matter for sentencing for August 7th at 10:30. Somehow I ended up with it. Then you got
sounds like my mother. Like, somehow I ended up with you. Jesus fucking Christ, how did that happen?
didn't show up. Then you got in a bicycle accident. And we sent you to test. And we reset the sentence for August 16th. You didn't show up for the sentencing on August 16th. And there's been a bench warrant out for your arrest since that time. We're moving now to forfeit the bond that was posted by your bonding company to see if we could induce them to get you here. I'm not sure why they gave you the Zoom ID, but they did. So you need to come turn yourself in so we can start this process. I would suggest you contact your attorney, Lori Hines, but you've pled to a misdemeanor charge reduced from a felony, never showed up for the sentencing because you were afraid of the positive drug tests. So the bonding company failed to appear.
Did you hear the birds?
You posted a $7,500 surety bond. We're going to proceed with forfeiture of the bond. And you need to come present yourself at the jail. We can get started then.
Okay.
What did
Okay.
you think was going to happen this morning?
I didn't know for sure. I just wanted to make sure I at least came to the Zoom meeting since I can't make it to
All
the
right.
Centerville place.
Well, you have an open, you had multiple felony charges. They were reduced to misdemeanors. They got adjourned because you had a positive drug test. Then you got in that bicycle accident, got adjourned again, then you didn't show up. So there's an open bench warrant for your arrest for failing to appear for sentencing. So you need to get arrested. So I can send the police to your house and we'll set the bond very high, or you can walk in the front door. Lori Hines is still your attorney. She can make arrangements for you to turn yourself in.
Okay. I'll call her.
So,
Can
I'm
you
sorry,
give
go
me her
ahead.
number?
What?
Can you give me Lori Hines' number?
Yes, do you have something to write on? Yeah, my uncle took the message and he wrote it on the wall.
That reminds me of a
You have
story
no
I'll
idea
tell
what I'm
after.
talking about. But anyway, do you have something
I
to write?
can. I have. I'm on my phone. I can.
All right, her number is 4.
Catch that, ladies and gents. Her number is 4. Just 4.
All right, Miss Hayworth, I'll be seeing you sooner than later, I hope. I don't think she's a Chuck Berry fan.
Okay, so that reminds me of this little story I'll tell you. When I worked at the bank, we used to get audited on safety. One of the things about safety is like not revealing the vault codes, but also like remembering the vault codes is like really important. And I worked at like 18 different branches, but I also worked at this one branch where they had been known to write the vault codes underneath the calendar on the wall beside the vault so that you could just move the calendar and look at the vault codes. They noticed that one time on the audit. And so after that, I never understood it, but I was at the bank during a lot of audits and they were like, they would come along and tape off everything and then look and I'd be like, what the fuck are they looking for under these calendars? Like, what? I could never understand. I was like, what do they think? We've got a hole in the wall and we're like shoving money behind there? But no, it was because of stupid branch 920 or whatever, who had a dumbass manager who couldn't even write the vault codes down and keep them in their wallet. They had to write them on the wall so many times that it became well known enough that they check it on all the audits. Ah. So yeah, when your friend calls and you take a message, don't write it on the wall, please.
That's a line from Memphis, long distance information. Give me Memphis. I know who placed the number, but I do not call. Because my uncle took the message and he wrote it on the wall, but she isn't.
Oh, the bank manager took the vault codes and he wrote them on the wall. But then he lost all that money because he was a gambling addict after all.
Don't know what I'm talking about.
You can gamble, Mikey. I think you can just hit !, gamble all, and it will gamble for you.
All right, she needs to get in here. She looks like she's struggling. All right, we'll forfeit the bond, which may induce the bonding company to go get her. And in the meantime, she just needs to come in. So I believe that's everything I had this morning. We'll see. I have a guy named David Williams that I'd like to, oh, that's Judge Pattison. So I thought he was mine. All right. In Mexico.
Hold on. Whoa, no, we're not going back to Mexico. No, Mexico. Hold on, pause, please. Please. This is our last little bit for tonight. It is going to be Judge Middleton. Hold on. Oh my God, live scene made big. Paisley, come on. Why is it all fucking different? Just fix this. Literally just fix this. Like we watched it just together just a minute ago where it was like fixed, you know? And now it's not fixed, and I'm a little concerned or perplexed as to why I'm again doing this sort of fix that I'm doing. Because, like, I pay Streamlabs money to remember this shit. What are you whispering about? Okay. This is a prelim examination. Once again, with Judge Middleton, we have about 30 minutes left. There's 10 of you. Whatever, we're having a good time. Like, you know.
All right, let's go on the record.
Are you saying?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I'm
Sir. Are you
tanned.
Nathan Elton Deans?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Deans, you're here today for what is scheduled as a preliminary examination. I'll explain that in a minute. The allegation is that on or about August 28th in the city of Sturgis that you did possess the controlled substance methamphetamine.
Watch what's going to happen. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But if I move the window right now, it'll resize it down and fuck out what I just can change. Anyways, somebody say I look tan. Do I look more tan than I did when I first met you, Mikey? Because that is by absolute intent. I'm trying so hard to get a bit of a base tan. I can take home a base tan and a few other things from Florida.
That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $15,000. Count 2 alleges that you did resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Joshua Edgington of the Sturgis Police Department. Count 3, you did assault, batter, wound, or oppose Brian Fritz with the Sturgis Police Department. Those are both punishable by up to 2 years imprisonment. You're charged as a 4th habitual offender, making the possible punishment for this up to life imprisonment. This is the time and date for a preliminary examination. And as your lawyer just told you, at a preliminary examination, you're not found guilty or not guilty. The prosecution just has a burden of proving probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause that you did it. Mr. David Marvin, the county prosecuting attorney, is here. Mr. Marvin, is there a plea offer?
No longer, Your Honor. There was.
And if the defendant had the preliminary examination, the offer is withdrawn?
Yes. And now we've got officers here on overtime, and it's costing the taxpayers a lot of money and time, and unfortunately, we're moving forward.
Oh, very good. All right, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Mr. Bush, are you ready?
Yes, sure.
If you wish to make an opening, you can, otherwise you just call your first witness.
I'll call my first witness.
Your Honor, I call Officer Joshua Edgington. So, however you get there.
I haven't seen you since you've been on crutches. I weren't even aware you were on crutches, but you still get your uniform on, so.
Oh, I've seen Officer Edgington testify before. He's a stand-up guy, but his last name is fun. Edgington. That's a game some ladies play.
You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief. Please have a seat.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you please state your name, spell your last?
Officer Joshua Edgington, EDGINGTON,
You're in a uniform today. Where are you employed?
Sturgis Police Department,
And what is your role there?
patrol officer.
Do you recall August 26th of 2023?
I do.
And did you have a reason to have contact with a Nathan Deans that day?
I did.
Do you know who Nathan Deans is?
I do.
And could you identify him?
He's wearing a striped green outfit with orange sandals.
All right. So may the record reflect, he pointed over to the defense table.
Yes, he identified the defendant.
So do you recall that day in an incident then?
I do.
And where were you?
I was traveling southbound on North Ottawa Street
Where is that?
in the city of Sturgis.
Okay. And also make sure that you maybe move up to that mic.
Okay.
It's recording. So you said, what street?
North Ottawa. I was
Okay.
traveling southbound.
City limits, right?
Yep.
Okay. Would you tell the court what happened that led you to have contact with Nathan Deans?
I observed what appeared to be two small white lights traveling northbound on Ottawa. They appeared to turn east on East Main Street, similar to like a bicycle. At this time, when they turned, I observed them, the one did not have a rear light, a red light affixed to the rear. I then activated my lights as the bicycles turned into an address on East Main Street and made contact.
Okay, so what time was this?
Around 3 a.m.
3 in the morning, and you're talking about lights, and when you saw it, what did you think it was?
I initially thought bicycles because they were kind of far apart and there was just a single light and they were smaller.
All right, and why did you stop? You said more than one, you said them.
Well, they were both riding together and I went to stop the one and they both pulled into the same address.
Okay, well, why did you stop them?
The one did not have a red light affixed to the rear of his bike.
All right, so is that a violation of some kind?
Yes.
All right. And what did you find then? I guess, what did you investigate?
I told them why they were stopped. I was making contact with them. Mr. Deans informed me that his battery had just died on the light. That's why it was out. I attempted to ask their name to identify him. He just kept giving me Nate. Wouldn't give me, after asking multiple times, wouldn't give me a last name or anything. At this time, I attempted to detain him and then he fled from me.
I'm not ignoring you, Scott. How could I? Thank you for being here. Also, that weird Matt guy, thank you for being here. Arizona, thank you for being here. Everybody who's been here a while. Mikey, did you have a random thought that you were gonna pose to us, or have you already had the random thought? That's my question.
Before we talk about that, fleeing, would you say again, so you're on the road, you're in your patrol car and you see this, where are you seeing these bicycles at night at 3 a.m.?
On Ottawa, they're in the center of the road, like center northbound lane. And kind of not off to the right, they should be as well. That's also a violation.
Okay. And then you said he took off. So describe that. What happened?
He started running northbound across Main Street. I gave him all the commands from the stop that he would be tased. I would release my canine. I continued to run. We ran through multiple backyards, around some houses. He got to the railroad tracks. There's a small tree line on the railroad tracks. He looped around, made it into a backyard. While other units arrived on scene at that time, attempted to do a perimeter. I did observe him coming over the fence as I was walking there. He then jumped back down, stating he was too tired to come over the fence, but did put his hands over. And I was able to hold one of the hands and told him not to move until I could get one of the other units to get in there to place him in custody. And he stated he wasn't gonna run, and then he ripped his hand away from me and took off running again.
So the first time, how close were you when you confronted him?
2 feet.
All right, so
3 feet.
were you in uniform that night?
Yes.
Did you tell him who you were?
I don't recall stating who I was.
All right,
I did
but-
have my lights activated, fully marked police car and uniform.
Okay. So it sounds like there was a first run.
Mhm.
How far would you say that distance was covered?
Say it was roughly 300 yards.
And then a second time, you said you were trying to stop him from running and he took off again?
Yeah, that would probably till where he was arrested was maybe another 100 yards.
So this is, based on what you said, is it accurate that it was approximately 400 yards chase?
Roughly.
Okay. Did you finally take him into custody?
Yes.
And did you search him at all? Incident to arrest? And what'd you find?
Then I found a glass pipe in his pocket, which had a white crystal-like residue consistent with methamphetamine.
What pocket?
I believe, can I look back to my notes?
Yes.
I want to say it was his left pocket.
Was it?
Yes, left shorts pocket.
Okay, so pants pocket, shorts pocket.
Shorts, like athletic type shorts.
All right. And so you find this and what was it?
It was a glass pipe. Had a white crystal residue in it, consistent with smoking methamphetamine.
And do you know if it was methamphetamine?
I field tested and tested positive for methamphetamine.
And after that, did you send it anywhere?
It was sent to MSP's lab.
And from memory, what, did you get the results back?
I did get the results back.
And
Those were positive
for
methamphetamine.
Okay, so it's meth. Do you recall any statements, any admissions, or anything from the defendant that night?
He requested, while he was in our holding cell, he did ask Officer Freds to speak with the officer that he fled from. I did come in there and he told me that he apologized for running from me, stated that he was stupid basically for doing it.
And nothing else concerning any meth pipe?
I don't recall.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Bush? Is all this recorded on your body cam?
It is.
And that's been preserved?
Yes.
What was Mr. Dean's wearing?
I don't recall exactly what he was. I believe it was like some athletic shorts or.
I guess I'm most interested in shoes or footwear, if you remember them.
I know, I believe he ran out of one of his shoes. I don't know exactly. I don't recall exactly what they were. I'd have to look.
So you think it ended with him having one shoe on and one shoe
I
off?
believe so, yes.
And the individual that apparently was riding a bicycle near beside him, is he or she part of this case?
No, he stayed at the that address on East Main Street.
And you say your canine was released then?
No, he was deployed on a short lead at the end to get him to not run any further. That's when he laid out and we were able to take him into custody.
Okay. Were any words being said by Mr. Deans as you were in the foot pursuit or the chase?
I don't recall. He was a little bit ahead of me, maybe 10, 15 yards. So.
And did Mr. Dean say anything to, apparently he responded his name Nate, you said a few times.
He just kept saying Nate.
Was there any other conversation from him before he broke away from you and fled?
Just telling me that his battery died in his light.
And did you determine what was there a light on the bicycle that wasn't working?
I believe so, yes.
I think I have no further questions.
You're on crutches today. Does that have anything to do with this incident?
Nope, that's a separate one.
Okay. Thank you. You can step down.
Thank you.
I wish that Weird Mac guy, they're not that big.
We're grabbing a
Believe
second
me, I've tried.
witness.
Also, thank you, Arizona, for your sweet words about my beautiful face. Oh my God, Judge, like move it along.
Right.
Honestly, in Muriel, I was not able to get Larry Beaver out of rehab to bring him to Florida. They would not sign him out. I did go and visit him before I left. They said, honestly, what we've discovered is that he was pretty addicted before he came to Canada, and he came from Florida. So they didn't want me to bring him back. I've been writing him postcards. I sent him a few videos, but to be honest, he cries. He cries most of the time. So I haven't been doing it that much. I'm going to have, there'll be some decision time when we get back, Larry Beaver. It's costing me dozens of dollars every month to keep him in this rehab. Good night, Beverly. Oh my God, that's squeaky.
Your Honor, I'd like to call my next witness, Officer Brian Freds.
Mr. Freds, would you please come forward? Good afternoon. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
Like so
Please
do,
have a
like
seat,
totally
state your
do.
name.
Officer Brian Freds is Sturs Department of Public Safety.
KCC
Good
YouTube
afternoon.
lady.
Would you tell us where you're employed? You said Sturgis.
Sturgis Department of Public Safety.
All right. What's your role?
Also YouTube Department of Paisley. My role is Paisley.
I'm police officer.
And were you working or on duty on August 26th of 2023?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember that day?
Yes.
And did you have a reason to encounter Nathan Deans?
Yes. So I was called.
And so yes, you were?
Yes.
All right. And where?
It was in the area of Main Street and the railroad tracks that run in between Hatch and Main Street.
All right, do you know what time it was?
It was late at night and it was dark. I would say sometime in the middle of the night.
Do you know who Nathan Deans is?
No, not prior to that night.
And did you see him and could you identify him?
Yes,
Do you see him today?
yes,
And could you point out where he is?
sitting right there.
All right, so you have to lean forward and talk into that and say it once again. So describe Nathan Deans.
So he's a black male, sitting right there, facial hair, the night that we dealt with him.
So Your Honor, he pointed to the defense table. All right, so you remember this night? Did
Yes.
you encountered him that night?
Yes.
All right, and what happened that caused you to encounter Nathan Deans on the night of, well, actually it was early morning, based on what you said, August 26th?
So I was called to assist my partner, Officer Edgington, had a subject run from him in the area of Main Street, I believe in Sturgis Street. I had driven down my patrol vehicle down the railroad tracks to assist Officer Edgington, who said that the subject had fled from him. I walked back to my patrol car. While walking back towards my patrol vehicle, subject ran out from between two garages and some weeds, ran across the railroad tracks in front of me. I gave loud verbal commands for him to stop. And I identified myself as police. Subject kept running, ran southbound over the railroad tracks and jumped a fence.
When you were there, you said he ran in front of your car. Where were you?
I was coming out in between two houses, walking from Main Street, walking south back towards the railroad tracks where my patrol vehicle was parked on the railroad.
All right, so you were out of your car
Yes.
Searching?
Yes.
And how far were you?
Hold on, do most places actually have on Main Street? Is that like a real thing that's not just in Disneyland? Because my experience with Main Street happens to be Main Street USA in Disneyland. Are you going to tell me that they actually have real main streets? What? My God. No, we don't have Main Street in Canada. This is fucking me up. Wow. Main Street. All I really know is Main Street USA, where you can get candy and balloons and happiness.
From the vehicle when you were walking back and spotted him?
I would say 30 to 50 yards probably.
And how close, where did he then pass? If you're standing outside 30 to 50 yards away from your car, where was he?
He ran right past my patrol vehicle. He was probably, I would say 30 yards in front of me, running across the railroad tracks.
And then what did you do?
I pursued him on foot. I gave loud verbal commands. Police, stop running. Police, stop running. He kept running and jumped a fence.
Did he?
Police, stop running. Police, stop running. Oh shit, you jumped a fence. Wow. Oh man, shucks, he didn't listen to me when I said, police, stop running. In such a lackluster way. Seriously, I could not scream it this loud because I'll get in trouble. But believe me, if I was chasing after you, people would fucking know. Okay? They could know.
He see you?
I believe he saw me, yes.
It was what time?
It was the middle of the night. I'm not sure the exact time.
Dark?
Dark, but lit.
Yeah, so talk about that.
So the area we're at is 4th Street comes down off of Hatch to a dead end, and it is a lit street. And then Main Street runs parallel to the railroad tracks, and that is also a lit street. So it's fairly a good amount of light even at night.
And that light that you're seeing,
Okay, and again, what are we talking about? Main Street and then lit streets? I'm assuming these are not lit as in the name of the street. It's the the lighting. Fuck, tell me about it. I 1000% know about bad lighting because look at it's crazy. What do the little chimney sweepers come out and light them before the chimney sweep for the evening?
saying that the amount of light, was that near your patrol vehicle
Yes,
and where you were standing
yes,
and where you gave chase?
yes.
And you said that you gave commands. What did you say?
I said, police, stop running.
Any idea, could you estimate how far from your vehicle he was when he ran past you and the vehicle?
I would say that he was within 20 yards or less of my patrol vehicle when he ran past it.
So how far did you chase?
Approximately probably 50 to 70 yards. It's a kind of an open area where it's mowed down, and there's 2 sets of railroad tracks that run through there.
How did it end?
He ran, jumped over the fence.
Did 17 flips, landed in a pool of jello, and then a swarm of bees attacked him because of the sugar content of the jello. My dog was confused because of the jello. I don't know, I'm making it up. Oh.
I was yelling loud verbal commands of stop running, police, stop running. And he ran
Stop running, police. Stop running, jello. Stop running, police. Stop running, jello.
across the opening to another fence, and then he stopped and turned around and faced me, put his hands in the air.
At the time you saw him and you gave chase, you said 50 to 70 yards.
Yeah,
Was there anybody else pursuing him on foot that you could see?
no,
So you were the only one chasing him at that time,
yes,
yelling at him to stop?
yes.
And what caused him to finally stop?
He encountered he jumped the fence, which I could not get over, and he ran across the opening. He encountered another fence, and he stopped.
I have no other questions at this time. Thank you.
Officer Freds, is this in St. Joe County?
I'm sorry.
Is this in St. Joseph County?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Bush? Just a couple of questions to clear things up. I think at one point you said early morning and around midnight. I'm trying to get a handle on when this was happening.
So all I can remember is that it was the middle of the night. It was dark.
What shift were you working?
I worked midnight shift.
And no doubt in your mind it was dark outside?
Yes, it was dark outside.
And Mr. Marvin elicited a number of times. You said something effective, please stop running.
Well, Scott, I am indeed a Scottish lassie, and I am indeed a connoisseur of the national drink of Scotland. But you and I both know that that's Iron Brew and not single malt whiskey. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, I don't drink whiskey at all, but I do drink Iron Brew. Love it, love it, love it. Shout out to Bruce and Joanna, my Scottish friends that I met at Universal Studios.
How many times do you think you said that?
I believe I said that 3 to 4 times.
And
You know
hearing
I'm
anybody
real,
else yelling
Scott.
at him? I know it was asked if you saw anybody else. But
No, I did not hear anybody else yelling at him at that point.
Okay, Scott, for legal reasons, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and change your spelling just to what Denali Mike has put. So you can see there, although it's Iron Brew and that's what they mean, for legal reasons, it doesn't contain iron and it's not a brew. So you can't be spelling it like that. We'll need you to do IRNBRU for iron brew in Scotland. And what does it taste like? That's another thing I can't explain, except to say it doesn't taste like it looks. No, Scott, you've missed it. No O in the iron. It's IRN. IRN. It sounds more like an Irish accent, doesn't it?
And you gave Mr. Marvin a number of yardages and it was estimates of how far you were away or how far you ran. You said 50 to 70 yards. That's how far you pursued.
Yeah, across the opening from where I was at in kind of a weeded woodline area, across a mowed section, across 2 sections of railroad tracks, and across another mowed section.
And you went as far as the fence, which stopped you then?
Yes.
Then there was some, I think you gave a distance about how close he passed to your patrol vehicle then?
Yeah. He had ran in between where I was at and where my patrol vehicle was at.
And so I understand you were out of the patrol vehicle.
Yes.
And how close was he to the patrol vehicle?
I would estimate he was within 20 yards of it. He was in between me and the vehicle.
And how far was he away from you at that point?
Probably 30 to 40 yards.
So he was kind of in between the two.
Yes.
And at that point, had you given the verbal command, please stop running?
Yes, I had.
And you indicate this was kind of well lit with streetlights.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever really make direct eye-to-eye contact with him? Or?
I don't recall if he looked at me. I know I was looking at him.
Mr. Deans ever say anything to you, or did you hear him speak anything?
I did not.
Thank you. I'm not further questions. Mr. Marvin?
I have nothing further.
Thank you. You may step down. Anything further, Mr. Marvin?
Nothing further.
Mr. Bush?
Mr. Deans will present no evidence of disciplinary examination.
Thank you. Motions, Mr. Marvin?
Your Honor, you heard testimony from 2 officers who were present that night and positively identified Nathan Deans. In one case, we actually have a face-to-face within 2 feet from him. And there were 2 incidents of defendant running, taking off. He was clearly an officer, is in uniform, and he was there on official police business. He gave him the command to stop, and instead he ran. We heard that was about a 400-yard chase. That ended with a search and a pipe in his pocket. It was positive for meth. We've got not only a field test by the officer who found it, but also he said that a lab came back positive. Then we've got Officer Freds, and we have an area he described as, even though it was late at night, it was still lighted enough that he could see. He said it was pretty visible based on where it's located in the city near streetlights. You've got a defendant who ran past his car, and then you have Officer Freds repeatedly not only chasing him, but yelling commands to stop. I think that everything is there to bind these over, and I ask you to bind over on 2 counts of obstructing, resisting, obstructing the officers, and 1 count of possession of methamphetamine.
Thank you. Mr. Bush?
I would ask the court to review the testimony by the statutes of the state of Michigan and to dismiss the charges.
Thank you. Mr. Deans, as I told you at the beginning, this is just a hearing regarding probable cause. All they have to establish is probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause that you did it. Well, there's not much doubt that you did it. Is there probable cause to believe a crime was committed? The statute has a bunch of alternatives. Did, assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger. That included running from an officer. For both officers, you didn't really assault anybody, but you did run from each officer some distance. And eventually they were able to catch up with you. Then they found this pipe with methamphetamine residue in it. Again, that's a probable cause standard. I don't know what a jury would make of that, but there's probable cause to believe that you had possessed some methamphetamine. So I support the prosecutor's motion to bind this matter over to circuit court, and it will be bound over. Bond was set in the amount of $10,000 cash or surety. At the time of the preliminary examination, there was a motion to reduce your bond, and I called the jail. You're charged as a fourth habitual offender, and I was looking at your criminal record. There's a lot of baggage on there, but you have a hold on you from 2 other jurisdictions. So I'm going to leave the bond as was set at $10,000 cash or surety. I do have a question. In some of your cases, you're referred to as Nathan Alton Deeds with an A, and in others, Nathan Elton Deeds with an E. What's your proper name?
It's with an E, Your Honor.
All right, Nathan.
Oh, it's so good to have a few aliases, though. I mean, that's honestly why I got first time. Or was it the second time? No, the first time.
Elton Deans. All right. Mr. Deans, this started out as about a rinky-dink incident as it could be, not having a red light on your bicycle. The person that was with you stopped, stayed there, and apparently nothing happened to him. You panicked for whatever reason and took off, and it turned into this. So I'm sorry that we're here on this circumstance, but the matter's bound over to the circuit court. Bond remains as set. I don't know what the status of your 2 other holds is, but this matter will be referred for a status conference in the circuit court. All right, this record is completed. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, let's do it.
You better intercept them. I think they're.
Thank you. Thank you, John. All right, that's the only examination we had for today. The other case was dismissed. And I think that's all we've got for the remainder of the day. We have a busy docket tomorrow.
Oh my God, we have a busy docket tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. Judge Middleton is just like,
this channel
stop.
is part
Hey,
of the History Hits
stop it
Network.
right now.
Stick
No,
around to
stop
find
it.
out more.
No, we will not. We are not part of the History Hit Network yet. Hashtag not a sponsor yet. One day. Anyways, you guys listen so much. I appreciate you being here. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. This is perfect timing. My headphones are dying. I've got to charge those. I need you to do a few things for me. Please, please, please make sure that you've hit the like button on this video. It is such an easy way to help me out. Remember that I love you. I'm proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Also, thank you all for being here. Tomorrow we will have to make some hard decisions about Larry Beaver. We'll do it together, like the family we are. Love you. Bye.